It's 10 o'clock, and this is Fox 10 Talks. The fog has descended on Arizona. I mean, the pictures coming in from Sedona this morning are, they look calendar-worthy, Celeste. But some of the other images, just try to drive around town. Would you look at the 202 a little earlier this morning? That's, to me, seems pretty close to zero visibility.
Yeah, it has been wild to see. I believe up in the Mogollon Rim area still this morning. We have some viewers who are up that way. Visibility is still at a zero. Because the fog has kind of socked everybody in our higher elevations. But it has been crazy. We've had so much moisture in the air that now you have some of these foggy skies that we're waking up to.
Well, so we're going to have Krystal, our wonderful morning meteorologist, join us here in about 15 minutes. But we want to introduce to you Congressman David Schweikert, who's joining us today. We welcome you to our podcast, our streaming
I'm happy to
show.
be here. Do you think I should get an easier last name?
Schweikert. Say it 10 times.
Schweikert.
It's like the running joke when I first ran, and the poor printer looked at me and said, "I can't fit your name on the sign."
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so you've decided to we want to talk about all the big issues in D.C. as well, but you've decided to make, I guess you could say, a career change. Why?
It's actually probably three very simple things. You're not allowed to strangle the people you work with. And look, Congress is just infuriating. God didn't give me a lot of talents, but one is I'm pretty good at math, and I'm probably an expert on the budget. And you're trying to make things happen. And you get promise after promise after promise after promise, and then they hide from you when it's time to do hard things. And have you ever grown to hit a moment where you start to realize, I don't think I can save Congress, but I can save Arizona. And then there's other personal things. I have a 3-year-old and 10-year-old, and a wife is exactly my age. I love my state. I love my home. I like my kids. Love my wife.
All the time.
Oh, I had no idea they were so loud, though.
There you go.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Grandfather of 8.
They keep you young.
You had and exhausted. And my ears are still echoing from this morning because they decided to have a sing-off. Trust me, Kid Pop could be the messenger of the devil, I swear. So, look, in some ways, I'm surprised I survived this long in Congress. But what happens in Washington, in some ways, it's not a meritocracy. It's often how long you serve, you battle your way up. So now I have a couple chairmanships. I chair the Joint Economic Committee. I chair Oversight and Ways and Means. And I can stop things. I can stop bad things. But I think I can do much more good for my brothers and sisters being here in Arizona.
You said something that you didn't think you could save Congress or help, but you could save Arizona. What does that mean for the future of our leadership in D.C.? I think
that's a brilliant question.
I think there's so much, and we watched it through this government shutdown, so much back and forth and arguing. And I think for a lot of people around the country, that's what we want to see, people working together, even though we may not agree with everybody. Working together.
It's so much worse than that. Look, what happens when you have arguments, which is the way the system's supposed to work,
right? And
people are just making stuff up. This side makes the facts up, this side makes their facts up, so they're not facts at all. Think about this. I think Friday was either the 14th or 15th time so far this year that we've censured someone. Or tried to bring it to the vote. It's become a clown show. And my personal theory is part of it is, everyone needs to be a YouTube or media star. So I need things that are good dopamine hits. But you don't get rewarded for doing hard work, complex policy. And I hope we'll touch on it, but the United States is in a real financial bind. We, over the last 12 months, borrow about $71,000 a second. But so far this fiscal year, we're only about 55 days into this fiscal year, we're borrowing probably about $150,000 a second.
Wow.
So that means we will click off from October 1st to maybe just before Christmas, another $1 trillion
Wow.
in borrowing. And that borrowing is driven by interest, all these bonds from years ago when interest rates were so low, and demographics. And that's the thing that is really uncomfortable to talk about. But we have so few children. Remember, we have fewer 18-year-olds today than we had 20 years ago.
Sure, yeah.
And next year it gets worse, and the year after that it gets worse. And lots of us who are baby boomers. And the math on covering the interest on 38 trillion, soon to be 39 trillion, covering healthcare and the benefits. There's ways to make this work. There's things the state is going to have to do, and that's what one of the reasons for running for governor. But there's so many things Congress needs to do, and the unwillingness to even talk about the truth in the math.
Well, you mentioned healthcare. How do you solve it? I mean, people are right now facing the prospect, if they have any connection to the ACA, to Obamacare, of possibly doubling or even higher. What's the solution that you see, both nationally and here in Arizona?
First, let's walk through some of the ACA. ACA, most people think of it as Obamacare, but the ACA covers 7% of the population. It's only 7%. What's being debated is the subsidies that are on top of the subsidies. So these were the bonus subsidies from COVID that actually only cover a fraction of that 7%. But this was for people who are much higher income. But it turns out only about a third of those subsidies actually go to help people actually acquire their health care. A bunch of it disappears in either the insurance company, because remember, these subsidies don't go to you. They actually go to the insurance company. Or we found this crazy thing that about 28% of the population in that enhanced subsidies, as they call it, so the subsidies on the subsidies, don't even know they have insurance or have never used their insurance. So now we're coming up with all these people getting prosecuted for fraud where they signed up folks. Okay, that's the ACA stuff.
Yeah.
Here's my number one argument, and for some reason this seems to be hard for folks. We've turned healthcare into financing. Obamacare, the Republican alternative, Medicare for all, are financing legislation. It's who gets to pay and who gets subsidized. Our fixation with my economists, I now have 5 or 6 PhD economists. A couple of them specialize in healthcare because I also chair the Joint Economic Committee. And we've been building models of what you can do to make healthcare more affordable, not through subsidies, but through technology. When 47% of U.S. healthcare is estimated to be associated with obesity, why wouldn't we help our brothers and sisters get healthier? When 33% of U.S. healthcare spending is just diabetes, why wouldn't we help our brothers and sisters take that on, and particularly pre-diabetic populations? And it turns out if you could take a sliver of that money and use it in ways to lower the actual cost of a service of being healthy.
What do you mean by that?
If we estimate that last year, 25 to $35 billion was spent just in duplicative MRIs, X-rays, CTs, ultrasounds.
Right.
So you get your, he's a big skier, he busts up his knee, gets an ultrasound or MRI in Flagstaff, comes here a couple days later, gets it again.
Sounds like my life story up at Sunrise. But go ahead with your, for instance.
But the simple technology of take that ultrasound or take that MRI and just attach it to this, and so it's portable with you. The problem is, as soon as you offer a piece of legislation saying, let's get rid of duplicative scans, that's $350 billion over 10 years. It's a lot of money.
So you have the lobbyists for those companies.
Exactly. You are so good.
And then they take over, they try to lobby some of the lawmakers, right?
Do you want to run for Congress? Because you already got to the punchline before most people
think about it. Okay, we're doing just fine here on the streaming
But
show.
it's true. And what happens is, the next moment you have these people showing up at your office pissed at you. Sorry for my language.
And they sometimes fundraise for some of these leaders around the,
Either that or a good example. So I've worked on telehealth since I got to Congress.
I actually really like that, so thank you.
But I got the crap kicked out of me. You may not remember, but they were on your television station a few years ago, just before COVID. David Schweikert's trying to get between you and your doctor-patient relationship. And it turns out it wasn't healthcare running the ads trying to stop telehealth. It wasn't doctors. It was real estate. It was the real estate groups that had bought the urgent care centers, the emergency room practices, the finance groups that had bought the emergency room doctors that were fearful if you used telehealth, there would be fewer people walking in the door. And there's back to healthcare. We need the people I work with in Washington to grow a spine, toughen up, tell the truth on how much money is going to things that have nothing to do with you being healthy. It has to do with the building, the air conditioning, the parking lot, the real estate. All right, last example. Technology exists today. It's called a breath biopsy. Looks like a big kazoo. It's a flu kazoo. You can blow into it. And within a couple moments, it can bounce off your medical records on your phone to know if you're allergic to any particular pharmaceutical.
Oh, wow.
And it says, all right, you actually have this type of bacteria.
Yeah.
We're going to order your antibiotics or your antivirals or whatever is required, and it will be delivered by lift to your house in 3 hours. That type of technology is illegal because it would be the algorithm, the AI prescribing, how we reimburse it in Washington, the very technology where we could crash the price of healthcare. And that's actually one of my passions for running for governor, is lots of that. There's this concept of building what you call a sandbox, where things, innovations are allowed to be tried at the state level.
I would love to hear, and I know we're coming up on a break right now, but how you're looking at possibly implementing some of these things at the state level. I just used telehealth last night with my son. He has strep throat. And I just shot the doctor a couple of pictures, and she prescribed him antibiotics. It was 7:00 at night. So I think it's a really important topic for Arizonans. We have some questions in the chat also. David, he said, "Don't call me Congressman, call me David."
Now, how old is your little person?
He's 16. He's tall.
So he's not a little person.
He's 6 feet
So
tall.
I go through this with my 3-year-old. Try getting a pediatric appointment.
It's so hard.
And so, look.
We'll chat about it after a quick break.
We've got a break. In fact, we do a thing called the mystery cam right here. Look at that. Now, I don't think that's Boston, but it says they got the Boston store. You can give us your guesses. We're back with Congressman David Schweikert in 2 minutes on Fox 10 Talks. Me too. Hi, everyone. Welcome back.
You're looking live at the Mystery Camera this morning on your Monday of Thanksgiving week. And we are grateful for all of you for hanging with us and joining us and being a Fox 10 talker. And we love seeing you with your T-shirts and all kinds of fun stuff. Ron, what are your thoughts on this location?
I like Halakita. She says it's somewhere in Pennsylvania looking out over Lake Erie. That's very specific. I've never been to Erie, PA.
No.
But I was in Cleveland not too long ago, so I think I'm going to go with her.
What's that? Is that like a ride down at the end? Do you see that, Ron?
I
near the
hope
water?
so. I hope it is, Celeste. I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
Their
It looks
version
pretty...
of the Space Needle, I guess.
Okay, so I'm going to go Maryland.
Okay, we got a Maryland and a Pennsylvania, and ladies and gentlemen, the
Here
answer is...
Erie, PA.
It is.
Yay!
Thank you to Halakita.
Have you been to Erie, PA?
We actually this summer held a Ways and Means hearing there to talk about enterprise zones and trying to, how do you reindustrialize the country? There's parts of the city that are actually amazing.
Yeah.
Who came up with that name, Ways and Means?
Yeah.
It's actually functionally in the U.S. Constitution. Ways and Means Committee is the only.
Ways and Means?
Look, we have responsibility for trade, taxes, Medicare, which
it's actually very important. Yeah.
Well, that's what we tell ourselves.
Celeste, I thought you were going to say who came up with that name, Erie.
Oh, that too.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Ron's like, I have the answer.
Well, the question, of course, that we've got to answer because we've only got about 4 or 5 minutes left with you is people are going to be within a matter of months deciding in the primary why you over two also well-established Republican names, talking about
look,
Andy Biggs and, of course, Karen Taylor Robson.
Fair question. And look, I've known both of them most of my life. It's a combination of a couple of things. If you take a look, I'm a conservative. I'm fixated on keeping taxes low, making Arizona as affordable as possible, dealing with the truth and the reality of how do you protect our border. And you see the amazing success that's happened so far this year, but also innovation, the things that raise wages. If you're in this neighborhood, or even just our entire county, if you don't make about 28% more today than you did a few years ago, you're poor. Our wage growth has flatlined, yet we were the epicenter of inflation. Yeah. So you want to know why people are cranky? It's because they're poor. I actually believe a conservative, free market, innovative approach is actually what we were as a state for years, and we seem to have lost that vision.
But that sounds like the other two candidates, at least on the Republican side.
No, I disagree. It doesn't. I don't live in a world of resentments, of basically running because I harbor certain grievances. And the fact of the matter is I also have the history. Go take a look. The legislation I've introduced, the legislation I've been successful getting passed, there's almost no one in Congress. It's gotten more pro-growth success through Congress in the last decade than I have.
I just want to mention, I know we have to wrap here soon, but you served in congressional district, was it 3, 5?
No, I've been in 6, 5, 1 because of redistricting and movement. Right. I served in the state legislature when I was a child for 2 terms. I was the county treasurer, so I managed the money.
You went to Arizona State, W.P. Carey School, yes?
Yes, and I did my MBA there also.
What is it that you love about Arizona?
In many ways, it's more than just the beauty. There's a certain sense of freedom here. You have people that have chosen to live here from all over the country, all over the world. And I think that spirit makes Arizonans different than almost any other place in the country.
Okay, so affordability, you touched on it. Let's get a couple of concrete proposals from you here in the next minute and a half that we have until we have to say goodbye.
First off, if you're someone that listens to some of the politicians say, we're going to make prices go down, they're lying to you. The economics don't work that way. What you have to do is have wages go up. If you want affordability, let's talk in housing. There's 2 primary components in housing. It's availability, it's housing stock, and it's wage growth. We're failing on both of those. And it doesn't need to be that way. Just think of it. It was only a few years ago. Arizona was a place where you could start a family. You could move. Your kids would stay. How many of your grandkids are choosing to stay here in Arizona because they can afford a house, they can see their wages going up, they can afford that family?
Well, they're all 11 and younger. So
all right, so we still have a ways to go.
But still, housing is a huge issue.
And yet, I hear some of the absurd proposals of, we're going to subsidize it more. We're going to, have government do this. There's experiments that have gone on all over the country where you deal with the bureaucracy, particularly our city bureaucracies, when, sometimes it takes a couple of years to be able to get the entitlements, the permitting. Just the cost of doing that is structured in those prices of the housing. Yeah. Our state trust land that's right in the urban area where we're doing leapfrog development, that's absurd. And then the other things is the types of companies, the jobs, the entrepreneurship you bring into this community is actually how you get wage growth back alive again.
And then there needs to be a little bit more thought process, too, on the housing crisis. Like with the middle housing law, I think there wasn't enough work being done on the back end with that was signed into the state legislature.
Part of it was, it was well-intended, but we actually can study around the country where there's been successes and when there's been a lot of failures.
Yeah.
Well, before we say our goodbyes, tell us one thing about you, about your life, your hobbies, et cetera, that might surprise us a little bit.
My hobby is welding.
Wow.
There you go.
I have
what type of things are you welding?
No. Sure. If you ever drive by my house, which don't do it too much, it creeps up my little girl. But I have lots of metal gates and these things.
And you built them all.
Yeah, I didn't say I'm good at it, but I love doing it.
Honey, why doesn't this gate shut? It does not lock.
But think about it. If you do what I do, you live a fairly intense life because being on Ways and Means, chairing the Joint Economic Committee, you got to come home to unwind. I love my kids. I love taking my kids hiking, but sometimes Daddy just needs to be in the garage welding up another gate.
Yeah.
All right. Congressman David Schweikert, it's been great having you here.
Yeah,
thank you for having me.
And we're entering the political season, so I'm sure we'll be in touch.
I look forward to it.
Thank you for coming in.
Okay, so another story that we're following is, are we getting any closer to peace in Ukraine? Here's the president there as he was speaking on the South Lawn. Apparently, part of this deal it's in the works, and the president says it's not his final offer, but it would force Ukraine to give up some territory. And of course, that's been pretty controversial all the way along the line. So we'll keep track of that. But the president did text, or he sent out a social media post saying he felt like something good was potentially right there in the works. So Syleste, we have, this is what hooked me on this next guest. If you tell me that we have an ex-FBI spy hunter that we can talk to, I'm like, sign me up. Okay. So we have Eric O'Neill joining us. You may have seen him. He's been on the airwaves a lot. And first, give us a little bit of background. We're going to dig into Epstein Files with you. Give us a little bit of background. My understanding is your time hunting spies goes all the way back to the Robert Hansen fiasco of decades ago. Oh, on mute? Yeah. Okay, take it away. I got you now. Okay, I think we can hear you now. Yeah, there you go.
My biggest case working undercover for the FBI was the Robert Hansen investigation. Hansen had spied for the Russians against the United States, the entire intelligence community, for 22 years of his 25-year career. And I was thrown undercover in the most unique case the FBI has ever run in FBI headquarters to make him believe that it was a real job so we could get the evidence that led to his arrest and conviction, and I managed to successfully do it. And since then, I wrote a book about it called Gray Day, which is the behind the scenes. And then my new book, Spies, Lies, and Cybercrime, is everything you need to know to protect yourself from cyber attacks.
So how does that work? Do you wake up one day and you say, I want to hunt spies? How does the process become that individual where you're able to kind of live this life? It's amazing. And I only ask because I watched that show Spy Kids with my kids forever.
Right.
Over and
Great
over.
Kid. Great show.
Yeah. So how did your career begin?
Well, my career began because I was looking for something that would be innovative, unique, and exciting. I wanted a job that would give me skills that I could get nowhere else, but I also wanted to serve my country. I had this inner patriotism that comes from my parents and grandparents, and I wanted to do something that mattered. So I applied to the FBI, DEA, Secret Service, everyone, you name it. And the FBI reached out to me first. I got my Quantico date to go to the academy, and that is how I became a counterintelligence and counter terrorism undercover operative responsible for protecting the nation against spies and terrorists.
I think it's pretty amazing. My aunt just retired from the FBI a few years ago. She still lives in Virginia. And watching her go through like the boot camp type thing.
Yes, right.
They really prepare you all for something like this. What is your most memorable, story or assignment that you've worked?
Well, it's certainly the Hansen case, and I tell that story in my first book from start to finish. Or you can watch the movie version. They actually made a movie about me and how I caught Hansen. But it was certainly that moment that I was able to get the information from Hansen. I stole his PDA, aka Palm Pilot, in this crazy deceptive deal that we created where we got him away to shoot, and I ran into his bag, and I had only moments to get it back before he came into the office. And knowing Hansen, he probably would have shot me if he had caught me doing it. But I knew that information had to be somewhere, and I was pretty sure it was there, and it was, and that's how we ended up catching him. And then in my new book, I got to the FBI declassified all sorts of stories from my undercover work. I was shocked that they declassified so many of them, and I get to tell even more.
Okay. Well, we wanted to talk about the Epstein case. I don't know if you can stick around with us after the break or not. We got about a minute until we have to hit our break. What have you found as you've been digging through these files that surprised you the most?
Well, it's not what surprised me the most. It's what's not in there, and it's what we're probably going to miss. What I've been talking about is managing expectations about what we're going to see in the next just shy of 30 days when the DOJ hopefully provides the information related to their investigation of Epstein and his co-conspirators. And so there's a short list of things we're probably not going to see. Anything related to cooperating witnesses, of course, anything related to victims, and anything related to ongoing investigations. And there's where I think people will have problems. Because if the FBI is investigating individuals who were co-conspirators or have committed some crime, because Epstein, what he was doing was one of the most horrible things that I can imagine, then that information is not going to be in this release. But that said, I really hope the DOJ and FBI is looking into individuals.
Okay. Are you able to stick around, or do we need to say goodbye?
I am. I can stick around for a little bit, and then we can unpack it a bit more.
All right.
Thank you. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
And at 10:30, we welcome you back. We are chatting with the author of Spies, Lies, and Cybercrime. It's Eric O'Neill, a former FBI spy hunter. You said that you were surprised about how much what potentially could have been classified info the FBI has allowed you to share. Give us a story or two that we could really sink our teeth into.
Certainly. So you say one story that I was never able to tell is, a lot of the stories I never was able to tell is when I was a very classified, top secret undercover operative called a ghost. But one of the secrets, one of the stories I tell introduces my plan of attack for my readers called PAID, Prepare, Assess, Investigate, Decide. And it talks about a story of how myself and another undercover asset had to follow a Russian spy into a wooded area during winter, when the leaves were gone from the trees, and so we would have no cover. And so in preparing, we were trying to figure out where this spy would go to possibly meet a asset that we thought they were going to meet. And our goal, our target, was to get pictures of the spy meeting the asset, right? And so what we did is we decided, okay, she was a female, I was a male, so we would pretend to be a couple hiking, which a lot of people were doing during that day out in that park. And what we had to do is use our best understanding of the place we were going to be, analyze, right, in order to find out where the person was going to be and be there ahead of the spy. And if you just follow someone, they're going to turn around and see you time and again. And that's a pretty good big clue you have surveillance. So we found this amphitheater in the center of the park, got there ahead of the spy. And the way that we did it is he met another individual. I was pretending to take pictures of her, like, a boyfriend might have a girlfriend. And of course, I was focusing on the two, and we were able to get the images and win the day. We were able to identify the asset and catch a U.S. spy. So it was there's critical stories like that tell how espionage works and how spy hunting works. The FBI was very kind in letting me declassify some of those stories.
Yeah, that was it's kind of wild when you hear some of those stories. So we do have a great question for you in our chat, and this is from John Pierce. He says, it may be a little silly, but Eric, did you ever get to use any really cool Bond gadgets? Sorry, told you it was silly.
Certainly, it's not silly at all. And yes, technology was a big deal. We have what's called a Q division. That's actually what they call it, off of James Bond. It has a real name, but that's what everyone calls it. Over at the FBI Academy in Quantico, where they will build cool things for you if you tell them what you need. And I had all sorts of things, from an incredibly expensive camera kit with this long camera that was, gosh, I don't know, something like 3 feet long, so you could get telephoto shots. And at night, it had its own tripod, 2 tripods just to hold it up, to thermal imagers, so you could follow someone in a park and scan where their handprints were, so you didn't have to be too close to them, and all sorts of other cool things. But when I do lecture about espionage and spy hunting tactics, I tell you the number one thing that I had that I relied on was my mind. It's being able to predict the adversary, to think quick on your feet, and to be ready to change your plan in a moment's notice as soon as the operation undergoes.
How about that?
Amazing.
Having a whole department ready to just make what you need.
I know, right? Okay, yeah. So
it was really cool. I miss having that.
Well, we hope you'll come visit us again when you get your next book out. We've really appreciated our time with you today. And one more time, the book is called Spies, Lies, and Cybercrimes. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you very much for having me.
Congratulations on that book launch. So cool.
Would you look at these pictures in from overnight? You see the timestamp there at about 1:14 in the morning? This car, something happened. It's right there on the 51 at about 32nd Street. So before you drop down, you kind of go through the Dreamy Draw area. And the ADOT cam showed what they were up against. I mean, firefighters got out there fast, doing what they could. But that car was burned to a crisp, Celeste, and really didn't have much of a chance, I don't think.
No, we don't know where the owners are or if there were any victims. We believe everybody's okay. But what a wild sight for crews to drive up. This thing was fully engulfed.
Yeah, I mean, when you get up in the morning and you turn on Fox 10, whether you're up right at 4:30 or at 6 or at 7, that kind of a thing, there's so many things that happen in the overnight hours in our city of 5 million people, and we always try to cover it. Hey, we also wanted to mention that we have our poll question. I'm sure our regulars are like, where's the poll question?
Come on, I want the poll.
I want to get involved in it.
I want to vote.
Here's your QR code. We'll watch these numbers move around. If you haven't voted yet, and you grab that QR code, we'll see what your opinion is. Marjorie Taylor Greene announced over the weekend she's resigning and she won't run for president. Do you hope she changes her mind? 5% say yes. I'd love to vote for her. She's fighting for those Epstein victims. 72% say no. There'll be many, much better Republicans. And 23% say, no, I'd never vote for her. In fact, no matter what, I'm going to be voting Democrat.
All right. Well, that last one is actually ruling what is happening on YouTube right now. I just refreshed. We've got about 1.4 thousand votes on YouTube in just the last hours. The one that is ranking the top right now, 53% said no. I'd never vote for her. I'll vote Democrat. 40% said no. There'll be too many, much better Republicans. And then 7% said, yes, I'd love to vote for her. She fights for Epstein victims. Do you want to go to Big D?
Yeah.
We got 56 comments. No.
Here's what's coming up. We have a big interview coming up.
We just wanted to see your face.
Oh, no, let me show you. Here's Molly. She's like 5 seconds away. We're not going to have, as popular as Dave is, we're not going to have him eat into Molly's time.
Ron, there is protests happening outside for him and Molly, both.
Well, anyway, Dave's coming up in the next segment. But for right now, we are bringing on Molly McHugh because there's some new data from the Retail Federation. Holiday sales, despite the fact that it feels like the economy is just not in great shape, affordability is such a big issue. Holiday sales are going to hit $1 trillion. And she's been kind of digging into some of the Google Analytics of what are the biggest trending gift ideas out there and how you can make sure you get a good deal.
And make sure that you get your wife what she wants, Ron.
Okay. Now that's
right, Molly?
That's AI that can help.
Absolutely, yes. We have been looking at the things that are trending in shopping and seeing what people are looking for. So we have what we call the Holiday 100, which is a look at the products that are trending over the course of the year, and that's all driven by Google searches. And so a few of them that have really spiked this year, and maybe some are surprises and some aren't, but backpack charms for kids, that's huge. That's a big one. And I think maybe that's like a Labubu effect. Scooters for kids are also really high this year. And then red light therapy masks spiked more than they've ever spiked before. And then also stackable ring sets was another one that we saw get really popular and get a ton of searches.
Wow. So it looks like they kind of run the gamut. Are some of the searches also age appropriate? Like, are there some specifically for men that you saw, or for women?
Yeah, there's stuff for everyone. All of our search data is anonymized, so we don't know who it's coming from, but we do kind of like see trends. Like if you go to the website, which is g.co/holiday100, we've got like a segment for kids and one for like the homebody and one for the traveler. So we're kind of like looking at it this way. So yeah, there's really something for everyone there. And it's just really interesting to see how the things we search for drive the things we end up buying for each other at the end of the year.
As you were digging through the numbers, some of these maybe aren't a surprise, like the scooters. We know, the charms, whether they're on your clogs or whether they're on your backpacks or whatever. What surprised you as you were looking through all the data, whether it's for kid gift ideas, a mom and dad, even grandparents?
The one that I thought was like the most interesting was the movie projectors spiked like a lot. It spiked by more than 900% this year.
Wow.
So movie projectors and at-home projector was a really big one that I didn't really like see coming or really think that would be such a thing. But now I'm kind of interested in like looking at them. Yeah. So yeah, that one was kind of interesting.
I think because now you can use the projector with your iPhone, with the phones, you just pull it up on your phone and boom, it kind of shines up on that big screen.
Oh, maybe so.
Think of like a backyard. You're hanging out for Thanksgiving or Christmas. You set the big screen up in the backyard.
Put out a sheet. I've seen people do that literally, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So all of those are happening now. In the last minute or two that we have left with you, their budgets are as tight as can be.
Yeah.
What techniques can they use to make sure they're getting the best deal on the products they do want to buy for Christmas?
Yes, absolutely. There are a few things that I would say are a great thing to take advantage of. The first one is called track your price. So if you're on Google Shopping and you're looking for different products, you'll see an option to track the price of a product. And this will just let you know when it drops, and you'll get an email that says like, oh, hey, that dog bed you were looking at, that's a little less expensive now. And when you hit that feature, it will also show you the price history over time. And that's looking through all of our inventory and all of the data that we've accumulated for across every website that sells something, and will tell you, oh, hey, this was a lot less expensive last year, or this is actually a pretty good price. So you are able to make that decision for yourself. And then building on top of that, we now have a new feature powered by AI that will let you kind of determine what price you want for something. So let's say you want to buy a dog bed. You're not on the fence, you're going to buy it, but you really only want it if it's under $50 and in green. So you can tell Google those qualifications. And once it hits all of those parameters, then it will buy it for you in the background if you've given it access to your Google Wallet and your pay is all set up. So that's just a great way that if there's something you have to or want to buy this season, you don't have to pay, an exorbitant price for it if you really just want to wait and get it at a specific price.
Tell us one more time how to find that tool.
So when you're shopping on Google Shopping or Google Search and you hit the track price of an item, it like pulls up this little thing on the sidebar, and you'll see all these things of information of where you can buy it, and you'll see track price. Once you hit that, there will now be a buy for me option.
Okay.
That is actually quite brilliant if you think about it. Yeah. Let's say you have a $300 budget, right, for the holidays, and you're only going to buy these sneakers for your kid if they drop under $70. You put them in there, and then it automatically purchases it for you. Wow.
Great.
Right. And you have to keep going back and like, oh, did the price finally drop? And then maybe it did, but you didn't get on the site fast enough. It does all of that for you automatically, so you don't miss a surprise sale or something like that.
Interesting.
Excellent. Okay, Molly, some really good ideas there. Suddenly my stress level for Christmas, Celeste, has gone down from a 10 to like an 8.5.
I know. I just pulled up the Google Shopping page right here, Molly.
Hey,
thank you.
You're on the job, Celeste. Come on now. All right, Molly McHugh, thanks again.
Thanks for having me.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness. She's amazing.
Yeah, no kidding.
She was great to chat with.
Okay, so track the price. By the way, you are looking out over Lake Union. Here is a quick tip if you ever do go to Seattle. First of all, not every day looks like this in November. I mean, you saw the fog we were dealing with today. Secondly, get off the freeway there on the north end of Lake Union. Drive right on over to Ivers.
Yum. And ask for extra tartar, please.
Correct.
So good.
Extra tartar. Those are good fish and chips, that's for sure. Back in 2 minutes.
6-7.
Celeste is like, that's a 6-7 kind of shot.
That's 6-7.
Okay, whatever you say, Celeste.
That means it's meh.
Yeah.
Like, not so great. But
Really?
I have to say, you know what? That actually looks pretty nice. We're just Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, I mean, for the years that I was up there going to college, I can tell you, you get weeks where you don't even see sort of a glimmer of sunshine like that. So good for them today. Celeste, that's coming up later.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right now, we've got the fog to talk about because here's the crazy thing. And our #1 meteorologist, Krystal Ortiz, joins us. Krystal,
hello.
I was looking at these pictures of the fog at 7 o'clock in the morning. That's the 202 at McQueen. Kind of if you're headed inbound, you've sort of left Gilbert and you're headed into South Chandler. And yet we were showing the 202 on the north end of the East Valley out around Mesa. Beautiful, clear day.
Yes.
Crazy. Why?
Yeah, well, so when we have, it was kind of like the perfect setup, right? Where we had all this moisture and rain that has fallen over the last week. So our grounds are really wet, and now we started to clear out. Yesterday afternoon, it was so nice. So we started to evaporate some of that moisture, and our dew point started to climb. In fact, our dew point was in like the 50s this morning, which is more like what we would talk about during the monsoon. That's the view from Sedona, by the way, we're looking at currently. And so on top of that, it cooled quite a bit overnight because we had a clear sky. So cool air sinks. It's a little more dense than warm air. It settles into spots like the valley. And then that cool air traps any of that condensation that occurs, the fog that occurs. And then if you don't have strong winds, which we did not, winds were very light to calm last night, then there's nothing to move the fog. So then you're just stuck with the fog until the air heats up. So the temperature's a little cooler as you get to the outskirts of the valley, and it matched the dew point temperature. And hence, as you got to the edge of the valley, like right there along the Santan Highway there, you got the foggy conditions. It was pretty dense all the way down and into like the Maricopa area. We were looking at 347 Celeste this morning.
347 was pretty.
Parts of the 10 out near like Wild Horse Pass was pretty foggy
and
as well.
I think you were showing the map as well of like the Mogollon Rim area, like up there. Visibility was 0. Right?
Yes, there was quite a few spots around Payson, Prescott that were reporting 0. So there was a good chunk. There was some dense fog advisories in southern Arizona too, in parts of like Cochise and the Graham-Greenlee area, all for the same reason, because of the foggy conditions that built up thanks to all the rain that we've had. So the fog actually, guys, is still hanging around a little bit. It's thinned out a lot because we've started to warm up so much. But if you want to take my graphics, that's cement plant at 347. And it still looks kind of hazy, right?
The worst named road in the state.
It truly is not
Cement
a beautiful
Plant Road.
It's a really bad name.
I wonder what's on that road.
Yeah, really.
Well, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't know. It's a mystery. But yeah, you see traffic in both directions, though. I mean, obviously
they're
it's
going
Thanksgiving
okay.
week, but this is the one main thoroughfare in and out of Maricopa. My Thea Linda, my Theo Richard, they live down in Maricopa.
Oh, okay.
And I have some family down that way. And so, but it has grown so much down there. So you do have a lot of traffic on that 347. And it was very busy this morning with all that
It was.
fog.
You could see all the little dots of lights because it was such dense fog that you couldn't really see the road or anything, but you saw the little dots of light. So it's still a little foggy there. Look how much improvement in Sedona. So we just had that Sedona shot a second ago. We had up when it was like you could barely even tell.
So that was earlier today.
Yes, and this is right now. There's earlier today. Ooh, that's a good comparison, Ron. I like that.
Okay.
And then here's the after.
There you go.
Nice. It was actually so dense at one point that we took the live shot, and I think, was it Ty that asked our floor director, like, hey, what is this shot?
Yeah,
was it you or Ty? One of you was like, what is this shot? Because you couldn't even tell.
Yeah, and Martine was like, I think it's Sedona. We could see just like the tippity tops.
Yeah, so much improvement since then. This is a look at the visibility in miles. So in a perfect day, visibility will be 10 miles. That's like the max out on this map. And you can see that Chandler's now at 4. It was down to 0 this morning. But actually, ooh, this is interesting. Buckeye's at a 1/4 mile. You know what? We're live. I can do this on the fly. I'm going to check the 10 out by Buckeye just to see if any of the cameras out there are looking rough. Because it says it's at a 1/4 mile. So one sec. I'm going to try to find one of the
You should see Krystal on her laptop right now.
like,
she's
She's
able
trying
to
take,
do anything.
you want my readers?
Like, I know, seriously, I'm all like peering at.
I only use them when I need to. But well, while you're looking for that, I will say that out in the West Valley, I mean, we've seen, and you can kind of see on your map here, that kind of hovering above Buckeye. And
That's
there's
Verrado.
a look at the.
Okay.
So Verrado's, that's kind of the beginning, right, of Buckeye. You have Verrado there off in the distance.
And see how that is. Oh, that looks
Nope.
okay too. I'm surprised
Okay.
the airport's reporting it that is reporting such rough conditions, considering that it looks okay.
Hey, the other thing I wanted to ask you, Krystal, is
Yeah, it looks all right.
everybody wants to know. We've
Yes.
been so soggy. Are we getting any closer to getting out of the drought?
Okay, so our long-term drought, like no way. I mean, we're just so far buried in. I've always explained it as it's like if you are $10,000 in debt and then you get $100, like. Yeah, that helps you out in your debt, but
Yeah.
you're still
Yeah.
quite a bit in debt. So, but short-term drought fluctuates, and that helps farmers, of course, agricultural concerns. It's not going to help like our long-term water supply,
Yeah.
but and in that term, yes, I think that each week the drought monitor puts out a new map, and they take into account the previous week. So this Thursday will be the map that takes into account all of the rain from this past week that we had.
Oh, that'll be
And
good.
I am very interested to see that Thursday map, and I'll put it on air, of course, as soon as we get it to show it off. But I would expect there'll be a dent. There's already been dents being made with the last rounds of storms we had, in October, and then some of the stuff that we had in August as well. So I expect that will continue to improve.
And it's
So-
record-setting.
Yes,
right?
that's exactly right. So take a look, guys. This is the rainfall amounts that we had. I'm switching my graphic over for you right now. These are the rainfall amounts we've had in the valley over the last week for Maricopa County Flood Control District. East Valley, man, I mean, it felt like
2.76. Wow.
huge numbers. It started raining Saturday evening, and it just was still going on Sunday morning. I was like, oh my gosh. So a lot of spots were at around that 2-inch or more marker. You can see parts of East Mesa with definitely the winter, almost 3 inches along the 202 as you got far east. Then you look over to the West Valley, more like 1 to a few spots at around 2 inches. Around Glendale, 2.5 and 2 1/4 around the White Tank Mountain area. Up towards the North Valley, anywhere from 1.5 to 2 and like a 1/3 inch of rain falling as you ran up to 17. And then the big winners here were, take a look at these numbers. Anywhere from like 3 to 4 inches. Now, I do see there's that one near Black Canyon City that's at 8.5. I have not been able to quality control and like confirm that that's correct, but I will say a viewer messaged me and she said up near Strawberry that her rain gauge in the last week has totaled 9 inches.
Wow.
So, I mean, if you had a couple thunderstorms that ran right over your location, maybe you got that big of a number, which is pretty wild to say. She said she was in the Strawberry area. Huge rain totals because we had that round like a weekend, 2 weekends ago now. And then we had the round like early week. Then we had the round this past weekend. So you had 3 big rounds of rain. So
it does make sense when you look at all the water that was in our flooded, like the flooded roadways, like through Verde Valley. They had somebody who was washed away in a Jeep, and you had a couple of the different rescues.
Yes.
And when you look at how fast that water was moving, it had to come up from upstream.
Exactly. And then this takes into account all of the rain we've had in September, October, and November. And it is official that at Phoenix Sky Harbor, this is the wettest fall on record. Wow. We've had 6 1/3 inch. And for some perspective, in an average year, our annual rain total is under 8 inches. It's like around 7.5, I believe. So, I mean, this is exceptional that we're at almost an annual total only in a 3-month period that we have picked up. Of course, that does mean that this year we will end 2025 with an above average rainfall total for Phoenix Sky Harbor, which we have not done in quite a few years. So some pretty exciting stuff. And then also really exciting is that up at Snowball, they now have, and actually I need to update this because they said they got 1 more inch. So they now have a season total of 57 inches. So they are 3 inches shy of 5 feet of snow that have fallen in a 1-week period.
And it's still November.
Does this still mean that we're in a La Nina season though? Because that technically usually is what drier than normal.
Yes, a La Nina is technically drier, but there's a couple caveats to that. That just means, and I always like to use my analogies, right? So that's just we've discussed like it's when you have like a really good batting average, someone who has a good batting average. So you expect that they're going to hit a home run, but sometimes they strike out. So a La Nina doesn't always guarantee that you are going to have a dry winter. A. B, this is a very weak La Nina. They, in fact, think that it might fall apart by like early spring.
And become an El Nino?
Well, it'd be neutral, and then potentially the next season would be El Nino. Yeah. But when there's weak La Ninas, there's less of a connection to that dry pattern. So there is hope for us in our high country for more snow to come. There is hope.
How great that Snowball opened the day before they were expecting to open.
Yes. And then it all came like right when they were getting ready to open.
Yeah, so great.
By the way, you mentioned Sky Harbor, so let me just bring this up here. I'm not trying to bring up a whole can of worms, but is it time to start dressing better when you go to the airport? So the DOT is out with, what are they calling it? The Golden Age. They're launching the Golden Age of travel. It starts with you. Dress a little more with a little more courtesy, class, and respect is what they're saying. I'm thinking, you look at those pictures from back in the 60s. I don't really remember this, but I mean, they're showing guys showing up in their fedoras. They got the suit and tie on. How far do we need to go to, or are we fine the way it is now?
I don't know. I think we need to come out of the pajama season where we show up in our pajamas.
Yeah.
But I think the athleisure wear has become so popular that I think there's a way to dress up your athleisure wear.
Oh, you have to dress it up?
I think you can dress it up so that you
interesting.
look nice. Like,
Like you don't look
presentable.
nice in your Lululemons? What do you think?
I mean,
Those Lulus are expensive, okay?
Yeah, they are very expensive. Like, joggers can be dressy.
Okay.
Yeah, Lulus can be dressy. Vori can be dressy. You can dress those up with like a collared shirt or like a little jean jacket with like a hoodie underneath. Like, your athleisure wear can look good.
This is my rant. I would be happy to wear nicer clothes if I knew I was going to get in the airport, get on my plane, and get to my location. But I'm so worried a lot that there's going to be like a long layover or a delay or like whatever that I want to be more comfortable.
That's where the athleisure wear comes in.
I personally don't really care what people wear. I don't care what the guy next to me is wearing. I mean, as long as he's got clothes on, I'm good.
Honestly.
I think if the U.S. Department of Transportation, though, gave people, this was my thing this morning, if they said, if you dress better, we'll give you first
this
class.
would be nice.
If you show up in a suit, gentlemen, then there's a chance you could sit in first class.
Okay.
Well, then
so the lines would be like guys in shorts, guys in suits, this type of a thing. And then maybe you have a better, I do go in my gym shorts. I don't know if that's
okay.
like athleisure wear.
I think that's athleisure wear. Absolutely.
Because I've been stuck on so many planes. You're like, when are we taking off? It's been a half hour, 45 minutes. Now it's summertime. The air is barely blowing. I want to be comfortable and not be 100 degrees on that plane.
Totally well, there are some like khaki shorts. My son started buying them for school. They're called Chubbies.
Yeah.
And they have little drawstrings, and they're like athleisure wear / khaki, and they have pockets. There are different ways I think you can change it up a little bit.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And still be comfortable, but you don't have to be super
I will say
dressed
I
up.
have like some pretty vivid memories as a kid that whenever my grandparents who lived in upstate New York, whenever they would visit, they would always come and they were like fully dressed up. And I remember as a kid being like, why are you guys so dressed up? It's like, well, that's how we fly. Like that's how it used to be back in the day. And as a kid, I was like, what?
I feel like when you back in those days too, your knees were not literally
That
in
is
the
also
seat
true.
of the guy in front of you.
Good
so
point, Ron.
part of it is a reaction to what they're putting us through.
Is the USDOT listening?
I need to be comfy.
Ty and Anita are next on FTT. Here they come.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome on back to Fox 10 Talks. We're just going to keep things rolling here.
Because we have 4 guests for the
sure
half
do.
hour. Things happen. Here we go.
All right,
and
let's
our
get
first
right
one
into
is
it.
one of our favorite people ever in the world.
Thank you. You guys
Linda?
are amazing.
Linda
Thank
from
you.
the Phoenix Zoo.
First things first.
Oh.
Festive spirit.
Oh, festive spirit.
It is
Because
ZooLights
Do you know what's going to happen?
is starting Wednesday night.
The
Oh,
little
push the
ears
button.
on this head are going to key out. You
Oh.
Oh no, they
have to
are.
turn your lights up.
Oh,
babe.
turn my lights on.
Yeah, yeah. It
Oh, there they go. It's
has
hard to
lots of
see.
different variations. Then we also let's do the bubble blowers.
You want a gingerbread or a snowman?
Oh, Linda.
Oh,
Can they see that?
okay.
How do I turn mine on? Oh, there we go.
Yep,
Here
it
we
goes
go.
up for bubbles and I think down for just lights.
Oh.
'Tis the season. 'Tis the
Are we
season
going
for
to get in trouble?
ZooLights.
Because we're not even supposed to have drinks in
Oh,
here.
boy. My computer's
We
covered.
can turn it
All
off.
right,
We can turn it off.
We've made a little bit of
Wednesday
a
night,
mess.
Kickoff.
Wednesday night is
Public
kickoff.
opening kickoff. PhoenixZoo.org. You can get all of the details there. It's the best place to go. This is our 34th year.
How many?
So
34?
Here's the
34 years of
concern.
shining bright.
Dave, do you have napkins or clean? You guys were hit hard by bad storms a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, back in October.
Big tree.
So
in
the big
middle of
tree.
the lagoon.
Yep. Centerpiece of ZooLights, 50-foot tall digital tree was toppled.
Done.
In the tree. It was there for a week. We had it out on the land, drying
That's what we're talking
out.
about right there.
Yes, that. But I am so excited to say the show will go on.
Yay.
Yay. We call it our Lake Light Show. So this is the largest floating digital tree in North America. It is the centerpiece of ZooLights. It was toppled during that storm. It was about $100,000 to repair
gosh.
this. And as a nonprofit, that really takes it
Yeah.
out of us. We actually still have a storm damage recovery fund up on our website. But even just supporting us and coming to ZooLights, that is what helps.
Yeah.
All of that gate admission, coming to ZooLights. I mean, people have been doing ZooLights for decades. It's a family tradition.
I
When
was just
people
gonna
come
say
to
that.
town, it is the place to go and the things to see.
Oh, real quick. I know during the pandemic, you guys really switched gears. I think was genius and doing the drive-through. Is that still a thing?
We are doing cruise ZooLights at the end of the season.
Oh,
so
nice.
January 18th, you can take your vehicle through ZooLights. Because what we learned, just minus the pandemic, we learned that people were like, hey, I've got some mobility challenges. I've
they
got
still
grandma
wanna
and grandpa
see,
with
yeah.
me.
It's a lot of walking.
It's a lot of walking.
Be prepared.
Yep, yep. And even little kiddos are like, I just want to put my kiddos in the car and enjoy it that
Yep.
way.
That
It's
is
a
so
nice
cool.
option.
Yeah, it's an amazing option. My mom actually, that's what my mom wants to do this year. She's
Yeah.
like, I can't walk, but I will do the drive-through. So I'm taking her in January.
I love that.
I will say I went for the first time, how many years ago? 4 or 5,
Yeah.
right? And I went with my parents, and my dad if they flew into town last week, and the first thing, are we going to ZooLights?
Yep.
They love ZooLights.
Yeah.
It really is spectacular.
It is. It's so beautiful. And I say it every year. It gets bigger and brighter and better every single year. We're over 4 million lights, hundreds
Wow.
of armatures. We've got 50 wildlife illuminated lanterns. We've got a glow garden with some really fun glow swings. We've got s'mores pits. You can get your photo with Santa. Just see, those are some of the wildlife lanterns
Oh,
right
those are
there. Those
beautiful.
are really
you guys
fun.
start prepping for this when?
June.
June.
We start in June because we do this all in house. Like all of the lights and armatures, we create these in house. We've got a team of 6 amazing staff members. When they're not, during ZooLight season, they're getting ready for the next ZooLight season. So they just take so much pride in it, and we love it. It's such a Valley tradition.
Is this one of the biggest events that the zoo holds?
This is absolutely the biggest fundraising event that we do every year. We see about 280 to 300,000 people in that 6-week period because we start on this coming Wednesday. We go through mid-January.
There's still little bubbles floating around if you can see them. I love this.
Yeah, these are available in the gift shop. So you
know
can't
you're not
leave
getting those
ZooLights
back,
without
right?
a
Yeah.
souvenir.
Yeah.
The
I'm
ki- the
happy to
kids
leave
will-
them as
In
a gift.
addition to the beautiful lights and the fun toys and the different accessories and stuff, you guys have the hot chocolate, but also you can actually see the animals in their habitats at night, which I always think is really, really neat.
Yeah, it's fun. You can see some of the animals. Some are tucked away in their night houses because they're tired and they want to go to bed for the night.
Same.
But yes, there are a few animals that will be out and about, and that's what makes us so unique. This is one of the only places in the valley that you will be able to encounter animals and lights all at the same time.
I love it.
Give it to us one more time. How do you buy tickets? When is everything happening?
PhoenixZoo.org is where to get tickets. Kickoff is this Wednesday night. It runs each and every night, 5:30 to 10:30 p.m. until January 16th.
Rain or shine?
Rain or shine.
Shine.
Bring those
Yep.
umbrellas if it
Twinkle,
does.
twinkle.
It's going to be fun.
It's beautiful when
Thank
it
you.
rains.
Oh, I bet. I bet it is,
It is
actually.
pretty.
Because
It
it
is.
reflects off
Yep.
the asphalt.
Yep.
All right. Well,
It's
Linda,
stunning.
it's always a pleasure seeing you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
I'll give you back your gifts.
Yeah, your hat.
All
Yeah.
right, all
Yeah.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, our next story here this morning. If you fly in and out of Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport, it is likely that you've seen a gentleman just like this guy you see on your screen.
In the purple polo.
Wearing the purple polo or wearing the purple jacket. These are what the airport calls their Navigator program. It is a fantastic
It is a great program.
It is a great program out there. So if you ever been in or out of Phoenix Sky Harbor, you've probably seen them out there. And guess what? The program is actually celebrating its 25th anniversary.
Oh, congratulations. You also have doggies that you work with.
Yes, they sure do.
That's what I always notice when I'm around the airport, and I always go say hello to the doggies. Welcome in.
So we have Heather with the Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport, and Diane, she is one of the navigators here. So Heather, I want to start with you. For people that don't know, and I think I did the explanation justice, but is there anything that I missed as far as that navigator program?
No, they are an amazing group of individuals. We are so excited to be celebrating their 25th year anniversary this year. And they're really some of the first faces that you see when you come into the airport and then when you leave.
And they're all volunteers, which I love, right? And so they kind of get briefed on everything, the airport layout, where things are located. What are some of those questions that they get day in, day out? That you kind of well, Diane probably know because she is, and it says right there you've been a volunteer, a navigator since
Yes.
2004.
Wow.
Yes, next month will be my anniversary of 21 years of
Wow.
volunteering at the airport.
Congratulations.
Yes, it is. It's a wonderful.
So 21 years ago,
Yes.
25 years ago, the airport was a much different facility, not as busy, much smaller. How have you seen things grow and change? How have the concerns of people, the passengers who come up to you, how have those changed? I mean, what were the questions you were getting in 2004
In
versus
2004
now?
as compared to now. Well, some of the basic questions have not changed. Simple things like where's the bathroom? Where's my gate? Where are the ticket counters? Where, those kinds of where are. As far as the growth of the airport, some of the big things, the rental car center, the construction
that's right.
with Terminal 2 going away, Terminal 3 being remodeled and enlarged, all the upgrades there. The SkyTrain, the Phoenix
yeah.
SkyTrain is huge. That's made the transportation for our passengers, our visitors, much easier,
Yeah.
much easier. So those are the kinds of things that have helped us, the streamlining of the airlines themselves as far as ticketing. Cell phones, their phones, so things can be on apps so they can use their boarding passes here. So there's a lot of little things that technology have helped.
And Diane, you and I share a common, hobby. We're both certified aviation geeks.
Nerds.
Aviation nerds.
Well, you're both in the right place. Then.
Yeah.
You're there.
Tell us a little about your history because I love it.
Well, I started, of course, as a navigator, but I had a dream years and years ago when I was in high school of becoming a stewardess and was able to realize that dream many, many years later.
Oh, fun.
So I took about 5.5 years out of my volunteering and became a flight attendant,
Look at you.
which gave me a lot more insight into
Yeah.
the volunteer aspect of navigating along with the actual flying part. So it really has, in my mind, enhanced my ability to help our passengers,
Oh,
our
I bet.
customers.
And answer those questions that
Answer the
only someone
questions.
who has been on a flight
Right.
knows.
Most of the time it's still I have no idea, but
Yeah.
as far as your connections and things.
Yeah.
But still in all, it really does help. It really does help.
Do you need volunteers, Heather? How do people sign up? What requirements are
You
there?
can sign up on our website, skyharbor.com. You have to be a full-time Arizona resident. You have to be able to serve at least one 4-hour shift a week. pass a background check, and be able to stand for 4 hours. Did I
So,
miss
so
anything?
it's something I could do.
Well, that's what I said. I was like, can I just do it on the weekends, Heather? And you said, yeah, there's shifts on the weekends.
And in the summer, we have a teen navigator program. So if you know of teens, we're willing to take them. And then, of course, we have our therapy dog program as well.
That's brilliant with the teens because that gives them an opportunity to learn responsibility, learn how to give back a little bit. And then who knows, it opens them up to a whole world of career possibilities.
Because there's so many different jobs, as you know, in the aviation industry.
Oh, yes. It's lots of opportunities. Whether or not it's actual crew, pilots, flight attendants, there are agents, gate agents, ticket agents, rampers. There are, it's just, you can do just about anything you want to in the aviation industry.
Heather, I was going to ask you, with someone like Diane, obviously her experience is unbelievable, but what does it mean to you to be able to have these individuals out there representing the airport and helping the travelers? And that's why you guys have the moniker of one of the friendliest, happiest airports in the nation.
Absolutely. They're integral to us being America's friendliest airport. And if you think about it, any time that someone has an interaction with them or they get smiled at, it has the ability to really transform the traveler's journey and brighten their day.
Right.
We're going to have millions of people traveling starting, tomorrow, Wednesday, right, with Thanksgiving, all the way pretty much through Christmas. It'll be busy. Do you ramp up, increase the number of volunteers that you have scheduled so we can handle the crowds, or do you pretty much know who on staff and can answer all the questions even with increased population out there?
Well, there's 21 shifts a week, right? And then we have additional people who, if they want to come in, they can on those busy days.
For our holiday seasons, the coordinators will request if anybody wants to do extra shifts. And so we're able to come in on a time frame that's not our normal. I usually work Wednesday mornings, but I may be coming in this weekend.
In addition,
yes, exactly.
1 minute left. What is the craziest question you've ever had?
Keep it clean,
I know
Diane.
you have one.
I like how she laughs. She's thinking through that Rolodex.
I can give you one from being a flight attendant, but as far as being a navigator, there are so many crazy ones. I'm not sure I could pick one out. I really don't think so. Boy, I got out of that, didn't I?
You did.
I got out of
Maybe you have to write a book.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Real quick, Heather, if folks are watching and they're interested, because I think this is such a cool opportunity, how can folks get more information?
skyharbor.com/volunteer. Or you can reach out to us at skyharbor@phoenix.gov.
I love it.
Okay, and you guys are having a big press conference Wednesday too, right? With TSA getting ready for holiday travel, so it's going to be busy.
It's going to be busy.
Prepared.
Be prepared.
Be prepared.
Diane, it was nice to meet you. Thanks so much for coming in. Heather, great to see you again.
We'll be right back. We have 2 more guests, you guys.
Yeah,
Stay close.
it's a busy Monday. We'll be right back.
I'm like, Heather.
I know. I never even thought about that.
Welcome back in, everyone. It's Monday, 11:15. We are on to our next guest. We're talking tech, which really is a part of everyone's lives.
It really is. So we are joined by Katie. Katie, good morning. Thanks so much for hanging out with us.
Hi, Katie.
Well, good morning. Officially happy holidays. Like to say that for sure.
I know.
Yes. Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, all of the holidays. I love it.
I love it too. This is my favorite time of year. I go to play tech support with my family, so I'm ready for that. I got to get fired up for it. I do every device in the household, as you can imagine.
I'm going to put you on speed dial in my phone if you don't mind then.
I'm ready.
Black Friday's coming up, and you can always find some pretty good deals out there. So you are the tech expert. What are some of the hot things that you are seeing that everybody wants to get their hands on?
Yeah, let me give you just a snapshot of some
Sure.
of my favorites. I had a chance to partner with some incredible brands. You know, parents I hear often, they're looking for toys. Toys is always going to be a go-to every holiday season. I mean, we all know this, not telling you anything you don't know, but they're looking for things that are educational, that are kind of keeping the kids' minds sharp. And this is up for the Toy of the Year for 2026 in the educational department. As you can see, it's super cool. This is my robotic pet, and it is a coding chameleon. It takes about 3 to 4 hours to build. It's from one of my favorite STEM companies called Thames and Cosmos. And what I love about it is there's 3 different modes. So there's pet mode, there's code mode, and there's wild mode. It will interact. The colored sensors will change and even camouflage with the environment. And it'll even stick out its tongue to if it sees something, an object that thinks it's a treat. So it's so fun to build. It keeps kids' minds sharp. And by the way, parents love, there's no screens, there's no devices.
Yeah.
It is hands-on learning disguised as fun.
What
So
age
an
group?
awesome-
What age group, Katie?
You know, for when it comes to like this kind of hands-on building coding, I suggest around 8 and up. But really, it's coming down to like my nieces and nephews, 5, 6 years old. They're getting hands-on early.
Oh, yeah.
So we didn't have this stuff when I was younger.
I
So I'm
know.
excited for it.
I know. I was talking to a friend who has a little kid, and they showed him a picture, and the kid tried to, like a physical picture, was doing their fingers to try and zoom in.
Oh,
and I was like, you know that we're all kind of programmed to, like, you know, tech is in our lives
It's a
now.
different world.
It is.
Sure is. And it's not going away anytime soon. That's for sure.
No, ma'am. All right. Do you have any other products that we can talk about?
Yeah, I just wanted to dive into computing right now because, you know, we're hearing from the Consumer Technology Association. I was gathering my holiday research, and about 88% of consumers are planning to buy electronics and devices this holiday season. Probably nothing that we're surprised by.
Yeah.
But a data statistic that I was surprised by, there's almost 2 billion PC gamers across the globe. Like, that's an incredible number. And this category is just absolutely exploding. So I put together my favorite gaming device from Asus. It is the ROG Strix G16, which is an incredible, I'm an IT girl, I'm a networking girl, I have been my whole life. And this is one of the most beautiful gaming laptops, but also it's got productivity and power inside there with upwards of an Intel Core 9 processor. It's going to give you speed, power, and efficiency. And if you are a gamer, you need that productivity when it comes to gaming, but also for multitasking. So that gaming PC market is exploding exponentially.
Yeah.
Katie, we have a question. Someone's asking for older kids, STEM-oriented suggestions, like 16 to 18 years old.
Yeah, I would really suggest taking people are asking more for these experiential when it comes to holiday. Coding classes or anything robotics and hands-on, you get involved in that because there's some amazing Lego classes pretty much nationwide that I know personally. My nieces and nephews that are older now and in the high school age have had such great success with. So I highly recommend that.
I love that. Real quick, let's talk about using AI maybe for your holiday shopping. We've got about 2 minutes left.
Like to create your list?
Yeah, or like I just guess maybe finding the best deal. How can we integrate AI to make it easier for us?
Totally. You've hit the operative word. My world, I've been in technology since I was 19 years old. It's almost like 20 years. I don't want to date myself. I have never seen an explosion in the tech world quite like AI. And it's not just in one sector, whether it's business or manufacturing or banking, it's in every sector. And when it comes to shopping, it is no different. 97% of retailers right now are saying they're using AI when it comes to holiday shopping. And whether that is a chatbot where you're searching for a flight or whether that's you're looking for for assistance while you're shopping, or you're checking out at, say, for example, a Sam's Club. You know, when you put your cart through that giant checkout, typically you would have somebody go through every one of your products and scan against your receipt. They're using AI now to scan your cart so they don't have to physically go through every item. So there are so many ways that AI is actually helping us in our shopping experience. I know many people are turned off by AI, but it can be such a helpful resource when it comes to the everyday things in our life, like shopping for holiday season.
Technology can be good, it can be bad, but we're going to take the good where we can find it. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, you name it.
Katie, real quick though, is there a place where people can go get some of your recommendations? Do you have a website or a social media?
Thank you. Yeah, over at KatieLindenoll.com, or my handle is at Katie Lindenoll. I've posted all these awesome gadgets and so many more.
Katie, it was so nice to meet you. That was a great informative session. We might have to have you back as we get closer to Christmas too. All right, cool. Great to meet you virtually.
Katie was talking about all the different educational tools out there and different gadgets, which brings us to our next guest. Good morning to you. Patti, you're a reading tutor.
Yes.
Pretty incredible.
It is.
Because it's so absolutely important. Ty and I are very avid readers.
Well, we try to. When we have time, Patti. But it's hard to find time sometimes. But let's talk about this because you are with the Achieve Pinal Executive Manager. You are that. I'm just reading my notes here, Patti. I apologize. It's been one of those Mondays.
It's a Monday, Patti.
But let's talk about this because you guys are.
You need my help. You need
I know.
tutors.
Please, Patti, help us. But you guys are in need of tutors right now.
Yes, we are trying to expand our program, and we need 95 new tutors.
Oh, that's a lot.
It's a lot. We currently have 112.
Would Ty qualify?
No, he has to be 45 or older.
Well, I'm getting close, Patti.
Okay.
4 more years. I'll be there.
All right.
So
We'll
let's
take
talk
it.
about this because this is kind of a great way to give back to your community, right?
Great way to give back to your community. Great way to make a difference in some kids' lives. And it definitely makes a difference.
Now, Anita kind of mentioned it, but are there some prerequisites for folks that want to be tutors as far as how much time you need to, I guess?
You can volunteer for as little as an hour a week, or most of us do 2 hours a week. And then there's a little bit of after work, homework.
Sure.
To enter.
Are you meeting the students at a specific center? Are you meeting in libraries or school? How flexible is this?
The beauty of our program, it all takes place in this school, but our tutors can be either virtual or in person.
Oh, nice.
Our tutors come from anywhere in the country. And then we have probably 25% of our tutors are outside of Arizona.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, because you guys are based in Pinal County.
We're based we're in 10 districts in Pinal County.
Wow.
Very interesting information you guys sent over. Students who are not proficient in reading by the end of 3rd grade, 4 times more likely to drop out of high school.
Wow.
Why is that, number one? And number two, in this day and age, not only do you need a high school degree and diploma, but you need further education.
You're absolutely right. And they're not going to get that if they drop out of school. Right. So children learn to read from kindergarten to 3rd grade. And then from 4th grade on, they read to learn. So they must be reading at grade level.
You should say that one more time because that was perfect.
They learn to read from kindergarten to 3rd grade, and then from 4th grade on, they must read to learn.
Wow. See, that really kind of puts it in perspective.
It does.
And I have some friends that are teachers, and they were saying the pandemic, I mean, obviously it was 5 years ago, but they're still kind of seeing the effects of that.
Yeah.
5 years later, with some of these kids, unfortunately, are a little behind in some of the big ones, including reading.
Our kids in Pinal County are 32% of them, only 32% of them are reading at grade level when they leave 3rd grade. So the numbers were better before the pandemic, and they have gotten better since, but we're still nowhere near where we need to be.
Sure.
The goal for this state is nearly 70%.
Can they really catch up?
They do catch up.
Thanks to the tutors, right?
Yes, it's one-on-one tutoring twice a week. For 30 minutes each session, and we start in October, we end at the end of March. So we spend a lot of time with the kids. They not only catch up on their reading. Last year, 87% of our kids moved up a full grade level, but 54% moved up 2 or more grade levels.
Wow.
So they gain confidence as we work with them. They gain confidence, and the more confidence they gain, the better they do. So they start out reading at 1st grade level. I'm tutoring 2nd graders. They start out reading at 1st grade level, and at the end of the year, they're on target. It's amazing.
Patti, I was going to ask you too, because obviously you yourself are a tutor.
I am.
What is it like? It must be rewarding for you as a tutor to see those incremental jumps and start to see those kids getting those sight words and just kind of starting to click.
Oh, and their faces just shine.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Their faces shine. They are so proud of themselves, and we really do focus on them being proud of themselves, not us being proud of them. But they make remarkable changes, not only in their reading ability, but in their confidence, in their personality, and their like of school.
Yeah.
They go from not liking school to liking school
changes
because
their
they're
whole attitude.
it does.
Yeah.
It does.
So how does this work then? If I sign up and I would like to tutor, you're going to train me, and then do you provide materials to me and then to the kids? Because obviously you want to be literally you want to be on the same page. You want to be reading the same book.
The fidelity of the
in my
program
mind, I'm thinking I'm going to sit down next to someone and read along with them and help them. Okay. How does that work when you're virtual?
So we are, first of all, we're an affiliate of AARP Foundation Experience Corps, and the foundation provides us with A to Z reading level books. So all of the tutors, all of the kids are provided with these books. They start at level C and they go up to level I.
Okay.
And then you get training. So AARP also provides the training. It's 20 hours of pretty intense training, and it's very critical that we follow the program exactly because it's been studied, and they know what works, and we follow what they know works, and it's a success.
Patti, how long have you been working with the school districts in Pinal County?
We started in the pandemic.
Oh, you
actually,
did?
in
Wow.
2020.
So it's a fairly
we
new.
were the first program to go completely virtual.
Wow,
Pretty new
that is
program, then.
fantastic.
Yeah.
How many kids have gone through it?
More than 1,000.
Wow.
And this year there's 368. But if we're able to expand with the new tutors, we'll nearly double that.
That's fantastic.
I feel like reading, not only will that obviously help with education, but I think it opens up literally the entire world, because maybe you can't travel to France or Egypt or you name it, but you can read books about it.
Yes,
you can read
there.
story, you read history, and you just are transformed.
Yes, I'm reading. So we also read kids a book that we want them to experience, right? So they hear us reading fluently, and it opens up their imagination. So I'm currently reading to my kids Magic Treehouse, Dinosaur Before Dark.
Are you learning some stuff, Patti?
I don't know that one. I should look it up.
Using their imagination.
Yeah.
They're going back to the Cretaceous period. So,
yeah, it does take
right.
it takes a lot. And then how does that work with parents? Do you get the parents involved as well?
We don't get the parents directly involved, but we encourage the kids when they finish a book, they get to take it home, and we strongly encourage them to continue to practice, to read it to their siblings, read it to their parents, so that their parents see that they're doing improving, and their parents are less worried.
Sure.
Right. But we don't get to directly speak with their parents. One of my kids actually is changing schools, and he asked me last week, before the end of our session, could you call my mom and ask her if I can stay here?
Oh, I love that. We've got 30 seconds left.
Okay.
Give us that website one more time. And again, we're looking for 95 volunteers.
95. Yes, from anywhere in the state, anywhere in the country.
Love it.
No experience necessary. You asked that earlier. All they have to be able to do is pass a background check and be there for the training and the tutoring.
10 seconds, website.
AARP Experience Corps, achievepinal.org.
Awesome. Thank you.
Patti, thank you so much. It was nice to meet you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to, we're not going to take a break. We'll be back.
It's 11:30, everybody. Fox 10 Talks continues, and we have a special guest joining us today. Syleste, could you turn the volume up on that? That's the one. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is.
Who's the special guest?
It's you.
Oh, it's me?
Yeah, can you believe it? I mean, we do have a camera over there on that lonely-looking chair, but you're the special guest. Hey,
I'm so glad you guys invited me back.
Of course.
Thank you.
So we had a great first hour. We had the man who wants to be the next governor, David Schweikert.
Yes, we did.
And he said, don't call me Congressman, call me Dave. So there was that. And then I just felt like we had a really great hour. We just had enough time to go grab a slice of pie.
Oh, yeah, we did. I actually didn't partake yet.
Oh, are you going to?
But it's coming.
Yeah. All right. This shot looks good, but look at this, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to look better in about 3,
Big D.
2, look at
Big
that.
D to the rescue.
Look at that. I'm telling you, Syleste,
And
we've worked together for so long.
We have.
What's happening up
Let me
there?
see. Hold on.
Okay. Nice. Perfect. Oh, this is great. We have some of our key engineers in here.
I have to tell you, it's like they have ESP. Mm-hmm. They just they know when they're needed and where they're needed.
I know.
It's like they're aliens.
Yeah. Remind me to talk to you guys about my headphone jack. Yeah, here. So
we've been made aware.
Oh, they've been made aware.
Good. Okay, well, I brought my screwdrivers in this morning, so I thought I'd let you guys do the honors.
Do you have a little mini set?
Yeah, it's about what I have. So, Syleste, it turns out that those checks, those much discussed $10,000 checks, are already, look at this, they're already being handed out. There you had Kristi Noem, the former South Dakota governor, and they gathered a bunch of these. These are the perfect attendees.
Look at these guys. They're like, is this, look at all those zeros. They're like, this is like handing somebody.
$10,000.
Yeah, how sweet is this?
Right.
This is changing someone's holiday season.
Oh, no doubt. $10,000. I mean, that could be, you could use that for a down payment on a new house. Mm-hmm. Let's just watch this gal right here. She's about to, right? There you go. There you go. Looks humble, but happy, of course, to get the $10,000. Now, Des was making the point. What if you tried your best, but you missed like a couple of days because of like child care issues? You couldn't pay your child care. You know, and so I'm like, okay, I could see like an 80% bonus or a 60% bonus, something like that.
You know, too, what you ever remember working weekends, Ron, in the business?
Oh, yes. You know, Syleste, when I work weekends here, and I work Saturdays and Sundays, we would go out after the 6 p.m. news, which had some of the highest ratings because
you were on it.
Number one. And then number two, we were CBS back then, and 60 Minutes aired early at 5 p.m.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like the entire world watch our 6 o'clock news on Sunday.
Yeah.
There was one restaurant in all of downtown Phoenix back then that was open on Sunday night.
Duck and Decanter.
No, it was the one called, and I don't even think it was the old Spaghetti Factory on Central Avenue. It's still there.
And I love that place.
And you could go over there. Back in those days, you could get a cheese full of Mizithra cheese spaghetti for $7.95.
Wow, not anymore. I think it's $12.95 now.
See, all right, let's bring back those prices.
This is what I'll say. When you're working the weekends in this business, and maybe it's like at your job.
Yeah.
When you're working the weekends, there was once in a while where I would bring my kid into work with me. Or, just for like a few minutes, like a couple hours. Or if I needed, if I on a holiday once in a while, everybody would bring their kids in. It wouldn't have to be bring your kid to work day.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could bring your kid to the TSA checkpoint.
Okay, sure. Hand the baby through. You don't need to take off your little footsies, kind of a thing.
I will say that, and maybe I have met some TSA agents this past weekend, and I thought, wow, you are the happiest few TSA agents I've ever met. Maybe they receive the check.
There are no better TSA agents than ours right here at Sky Harbor. You fly Terminal 4, I fly Terminal 3, and they're just as friendly as can be.
They're amazing.
Even though we put them through the loop.
And they do a really good job.
Yeah.
They're very thorough.
Yeah. Well, we're independent journalists, so we shouldn't be taking sides on any issues. But I'll just say...
But we're all up for free money.
I'll just say this one thing. It seems to make a lot of sense that they're talking about passing a bill that air traffic controllers will be paid in the future if the government can't get its act together.
Absolutely.
Which I foresee more and more of that. And I think that they probably should at least think about also TSA agents. If you can keep the airports running smoothly, that's the pinch point in the economy. Celeste, we do actually, I was going to make one other point about bring your kids to work.
Okay.
Did you ever hear the story about the time? What about bring your baby to the job interview? Are you yay or nay on that one?
I don't know.
Because we had a candidate who came in once, and I thought, we need to hire her. She's going to be great. But I guess somebody up and down you don't know how many different layers you got to go interview. I guess somebody thought it wasn't so cool to bring your baby.
So she brought here?
To the station, yeah.
She brought her baby to work here.
Correct. She said it was something like, normally her mom watches her, but she was busy that day or something like that.
Well, maybe she didn't want to miss her opportunity for the gig.
Well, here's the thing.
What would you have done, Ron? What would Ron do? WWRD. I think we need to get some bracelets made.
Okay, that's not a bad idea. But you know what? I would have been fine with it. I'm a grandpa. I have 8 grandkids. I love kids, grandkids, all that kind of thing.
And if she needs the gig, she's going to do whatever she can to make sure she gets here for the interview.
But get this. It's a good thing she wasn't hired because then soon after that, we hired today's guest.
Let's see.
Celeste.
Oh, really? Was it me?
Yes, that is correct.
Who was it? Now I'm wondering.
I got to really go back and think. But anyway, true story.
Wow. Okay, well, I'm happy she wasn't hired.
Yeah, I know it. Now, too bad for her. Hey, we have a serious story we need to just mention because, actually, we can save that for later. You know why?
Must have not been too serious.
Because this guy right here, Mr. Eric Wilson, is an every Monday guest from TMZ. And there he is, all set and ready to go. How's your day going, buddy? Oops. Hold on.
We want to make sure that... Yep.
Yeah, I got you. Loud and clear. Yeah, you had a good weekend? Everybody in a good mood over there in LA?
It was a really nice weekend. The rain pushed out the smog for a little bit. So we got some clear skies out here in LA.
Anybody sorry, Celeste. Anybody have opinions? The Huskies shellacked UCLA. Anybody have an opinion about UCLA leaving the Rose Bowl, go play at SoFi?
There was no SoFi or UCLA talk in here this morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you doing for Thanksgiving? Are you just about set? Where are you going? Like a Friendsgiving or family?
Yeah, Friendsgiving. And that's the thing out here in LA. Friendsgivings are very popular. I'm sure, everywhere. But LA's probably has per capita the most Friendsgiving, I would imagine, in the entire world. So, going to one of those. And, it's going to be fun.
Per capita in the entire world, Ron.
Hey, let's talk about Diddy. Because you guys have look right there. Big ballers chat behind bars. What's going on with Diddy?
So that's actually an older story that we put out last week. We got some new clips that went up today, or yesterday rather, of Diddy working his job in the prison at Fort Dix. He works in the media library attached to the chapel, and he helps people rent out videos, helps them with books, gets them entertained while they're there, which makes sense. Obviously, Diddy hasn't been an entertainer his entire life. So that's what his job is now. So we got the first video of Diddy behind bars. We also see him without his cap on for the first time, and we see that full head of gray hair that he's developed over the last year or so.
Oh, wow.
Well, all the stress he's been through. Yeah,
lots of
kidding.
Gray hairs.
Not a shocker. Yeah. Okay. All right. So he's now, let's see, he's actually in the process of beginning his 50-month sentence, right? He's still got about 4 years to go?
Yeah, a little under 3 years, I think, right now. But the program that he's working in this media library, it actually does take time off of his sentence if he completes it. So his time could change as of now.
So what's he doing in that music library? Is it like, creating, is it digital?
It's like a media library. So it's people, renting out DVDs, renting out TVs for the common area.
It's like Blockbuster.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, you show up to rent your DVD and it's Diddy. How about let me recommend this?
Do you have snacks? Where are the new releases?
Hey, what's this Donald Glover story? I mean, it's brave of him to talk about it, but boy, what a shocker, because people are going out. He's performing and entertaining on an almost daily basis, but apparently last year he had a big scare.
Yeah, he said he left the concert and had a really bad headache, and went to a hospital, and the doctor said you had multiple strokes. And then he made a joke on stage saying that him and Jamie Foxx have something in common. Obviously, Jamie Foxx was hospitalized a year or so back with his illness. But yeah, so he seems to be doing fine now, but he did say he suffered a couple minor strokes.
You know, if you guys do a little research, I did some of the research, but I didn't bring it with me here. But they have established a link between COVID and a much elevated stroke risk. I have no idea if he ever got COVID over the course of these last 4 years or so. But I do think that might account for some of the younger people. You know, when you think stroke patient, you're thinking somebody who's pretty elderly, young, otherwise healthy looking guys.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely seems to be a very healthy guy, so it's not expected at all. But I guess strokes can affect anyone. I don't know about the COVID connection. I don't want to speculate. There's been enough COVID speculation out there, but who knows?
You know, didn't he say it was
fine now, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, right? I think the comment he released was that he's just grateful for kind of what life has brought his way thus far. It was some sort of a headache, right? Didn't he have like his head was hurting?
Yeah, he said he had a really bad head pain. He went to a concert, came back, and the pain was still there. So he voluntarily went to a hospital, and they told him there that he suffered some strokes.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, amazing in the fact that like he lived right through the entire ordeal. He had the strokes.
Yeah.
He didn't know he was having strokes. Went to the doctor. They said, "Hey, by the way, you were having a stroke." And
they take all forms, right? You have very mild ones or those that are extremely serious. And a big part of it is making sure you get medical care as quickly as you can.
Yeah.
Although in his case, we don't know how long the time frame was, but hopefully he has now fully recovered.
I know.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah. Okay, what's on the? What else is on your watch today? Oh, I heard that Taylor Swift was out there.
I think I have a tipster calling me right now that I want to just take this for 1 second.
Actually, can we listen in? Actually,
yeah, really.
Yeah, hang on. Hello. Hey, sorry. Let me call you right back.
Oh no, take the tip.
No, it was just Getty. It's fine.
Oh, there
Getty,
you go.
like
boring.
Right.
Oh, it's like your contact at Getty Images or Getty Museum or wow.
Yeah,
well, now we truly are out of time. We're going to carve out that extra 45 seconds for Eric breaks the hot tips. Yeah. All right. Hey, well, great chatting with you, buddy. That's Eric Wilson at TMZ every Monday morning. And here is your second mystery cam of the day. Where do you think this one is? We'll be right back. And we welcome you back. Where in this great United States is that? Celeste, I have two pet peeves when it comes to our cameras.
Okay.
Those that don't have the proper orientation where it looks like it's sliding a little to the left or a little to the right. I'm like, get up there and steady that cam. And then the other is when they're backlit. So I can't really tell. I mean, obviously there's a river.
Yes.
And there's some trees with no leaves.
Yeah, there's a river.
Yeah,
there's
a river.
A field at first.
And there's about a half a dozen tall buildings.
We have Jennifer says, so is that the Ohio River?
Oh.
Halakita says Ohio.
Ohio.
Oh, Ohio. And, Ron, here's the thing is that it's a holiday week.
Yeah.
So maybe this is a new person filling in.
Maybe
on the cameras. And so we're going to cut them a little bit of slack here, but they're going to do better tomorrow.
I'm going to go Missouri. How about you?
I'm going to go Indiana.
Indiana or Missouri? Here's your answer. Or Halakita says Ohio.
Oh.
All right, here comes your answer.
Dayton, Ohio.
Oh, very nice.
Halakita is 2 for 2 today.
Okay. That, by the way, is a great town to go to because that's where the Wright brothers were living and working when they first invented their airplane.
Oh, my goodness. They have a great Wright Museum there?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's right where their bicycle shop used to be.
It's so awesome.
It's so great. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, an hour and 46 minutes after we started today's streaming show, the loyal fans that have been waiting around all morning for Big D are finally going to get a dose of him.
Look at this face. We finally get this face.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, the poll question is, Marjorie Taylor Greene, do you hope she changes her mind and runs? 30% say yes. I'd love to vote for her. 76% say no. There'll be much better Republicans. 21% say I'm voting Democrat.
All right, let's take a look at YouTube. 2.1 thousand votes in the last 2 hours. Ron, that's on average about 1,000 votes an hour.
Gee whiz.
52% of you say no, I'd never vote for her. I'll vote Democrat. 41% say no. There'll be many, much better Republicans out there. Is that? There'll be many, much better.
Yeah.
Many.
I struggled with the wording on that, but the bottom line is there will be many.
Oh, much better.
Much better Republicans.
Punctuation is so important.
Oh, believe me, Celeste. Oh, for a comma now and then. Let's go to Big D.
Or a semicolon.
Yeah.
So really interesting comments as always. How's it 9397 says, I'd rather have Tulsi Gabbard than her. I don't know what happened to Marjorie Taylor Greene, but like Trump said, she lost her way. And then I wanted to highlight two comments that are the epitome of our country right now. Daniela Russo, 8012, says, I won't be voting Republican for a long time after this absolute mess. And Bill Stapleton, 1084, says, vote Democrat? Didn't the last 4 years teach you the failures of the Democratic Party? So really interesting, but people are feeling very on one side or the other, it seems.
Okay. All right, Big D.
You know what, Big D, he's a trendsetter. Do you see his shirt?
Let's go back.
You know that flannel?
Let's relive it.
That is in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the plaid.
Yes, I had a shirt like that right through my college years.
I think bring it back. Do you still have it?
I think that's what attracted Renee to me was my lumberman.
Well, you better not wear it again because the ladies will be coming around.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, so St. Mary's Food Bank, we love them. I mean, they still, I believe, have a need for 1,800 more turkeys to be donated to get families through. But our Irene Snyder was out there a little earlier this morning. Here's what she was learning.
I know. Good morning. There were hundreds of people lined up those cars for blocks on end, for miles. You can take a look behind me and see they started the distribution right now, so they have these cars that are moving through pretty quickly. I think they probably made it through about, how many cars do you think we've made it through so far, Milt? Maybe 10? Or
yeah, the first, we've done about 50 cars so far.
Well, my math is off. I was looking there. Wow, you guys got through a lot in the first 10 minutes or so that we have here. So what are we expecting today?
Yeah, we're going to serve about 3,000 families today. And, what's so amazing is the volunteers that we have. What you hear in the background is Wells Fargo's here today, Dutch Bros is here today, and we couldn't do it without them.
Wonderful. And then what do people need to know if they want to be able to come here and help out, and donate?
Yeah, so if you want to help out, we need help throughout the month. and throughout the rest of the year. And if you could donate, we're about 1,800 turkeys short as of right now. So we're trying to close that gap today. And you can go online at stmarysfoodbank.org to help out if you want to donate financially.
And speaking of the volunteers, we do have the volunteers here from Wells Fargo, as he mentioned behind us. We have good morning, guys. We have Veronica. I think her co-volunteers volunteered you to speak with us today.
Yeah.
We kind of threw you into it, right? Fourth year. What does it mean to you to be out here?
We just love giving back to the community. We just love giving back to the community. We do it as like a kind of a team bonding experience too. And every year, actually, Amy is the coordinator at Wells Fargo for this event. Like, wow. She volunteers on our employee resource network. So yeah, it means a lot to us.
So you've been doing this for years now. When you see the people's smiling faces, I talked to some of the people in these cars. A lot of them otherwise would not have a turkey on the table for Thanksgiving. What does it mean to you to see their smiling faces, know you're making that difference?
It means a lot. It touches our heart, especially, because I know Amy, her husband's a veteran, and so we are always trying to find some sort of community event that we can do to give back to the community. But the fact that, Thanksgiving is a time when families come together, and them having food for it's a big deal. It's a big deal for us.
How long are you guys been out here? Till noon, right?
Actually, we signed up for 2 shifts, so we're here for the whole day.
You're here for the whole day. Yeah. Wonderful. Well, we appreciate your time. And then we'll bring Milt back in real quick. He's behind me. We're going to talk about, if you want to help, how can people do that? Again, the distribution takes place from 8 to noon today. Tomorrow is 8 to noon. Wednesday is 8 to 11. And as far as volunteer opportunities, we were saying that it's too late to volunteer for Thanksgiving, but Christmas is still on the table. How do people do that?
Yeah, so they can go to stmarysfoodbank.org, and we've got volunteer signups for Phoenix and Surprise.
Wonderful. And then as far as dropping off those donations today, just remind people where they can do that again. It's not right here where you're distributing them. It's across the street.
It's just across the street at 2831 North 31st Ave.
And we just love them to pieces there. So, yeah, it'll be busy again today, tomorrow, and Wednesday.
Yeah.
Out there at 31st Ave and Thomas. Celeste, it is D.B. Cooper Day. Mm-hmm. Now, he was the guy who started, and it's a bad trend. I hope it never happens again. He's the guy that started the hijacking trend.
Really? It all began with DB?
You used to be able to just walk on a plane. You didn't have to go through all that stuff.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, of course, you do. Well, we have to thank DB Cooper because do you recognize? Look at this right here. This is the man. It was a rainy afternoon, November 24th, 1971. A well-dressed man walked in his 40s, walked into the Portland airport and bought a one-way ticket, I believe, for cash.
Wow.
Boarded a Northwest Orient flight, 305, 36 passengers. He sat there polite and quiet. But at about takeoff time, he handed the flight attendant a note. She thought he was flirting, so she just slipped it into her pocket.
Yeah.
He called her back a while later and said, "Oh, miss, you better have a look at that note." She looked at him and he said, "Because I have a bomb."
Oh.
Inside his briefcase, he showed what looked like red sticks attached to wires. Probably was a fake, but whatever. And he said, "I want $200,000 in cash, a fuel truck to land." They were going to Seattle, short flight, to refuel the plane when you get to SeaTac. They need to have, like, when you're at SeaTac, they need to have little plaques like this happened here, that happened. Follow in the steps of D.B. Cooper.
Wow.
And then he wanted not one, but 4 parachutes. And he gave precise instructions. They waited for hours. You think you've been stuck on a plane. It landed at 5:30, and it wasn't until much later that they finally took off. They gave him the cash because he was threatening to blow up the plane. He said, "Fly nonstop from here to Mexico City, but no higher than 10,000 feet. And when they did, somewhere around 8 o'clock that night, the other passengers were shocked. The crew felt a sudden pressure shift because back in those days they had rear stairs. That was how you entered some of those older, might have been the Dash 8s or something like that. Anyway, he jumped out of the back of the plane.
As they got close to Mexico?
No. I think they had left SeaTac maybe an hour.
Oh, wow.
And he jumped out. It was a ruse to get people thinking about. But he jumped into the stormy night still wearing his business suit and tie and a raincoat, and he was loaded with $20 bills, $200,000 worth.
Wow.
Never to be seen again.
So is this an image of what we think may look like.
Yeah,
in
I
his
mean,
older
sure,
age.
they interviewed all the witnesses, and they came up with this. And there are a lot of theories as to what happened. One that was that he survived the jump but was injured and died, couldn't make it out alive. Another one was that...
Where was he over when he jumped?
Well, somewhere between Washington and Oregon.
Okay.
And so the FBI has for years thought that he died in the jump, but another theory is he survived but never made it out of the woods. Another one is that he got away clean with the money.
Wow. And you said he wore a suit the whole time.
Yeah, he never got out of that.
Maybe this is like today, the U.S. Department of Transportation wants us to start wearing suits again.
Yeah.
Maybe they should think twice about that.
They're like,
don't dress nice. You might end up, you never know who this, it might be this guy.
Every fourth man is going to look like D.B. Cooper in a suit and tie.
Next thing you know, they're going to be like FBI.
So they came up with, Richard McCoy actually pulled off a nearly identical hijacking months later.
Yeah.
Robert Rackstraw was a parachutist trained in explosives and hinted for years afterward without actually admitting that he was D.B. Cooper.
Wow.
And then there was a guy named Dwayne Weber who confessed to his wife toward the end of his life, I was D.B. Cooper, and he had a matching knee injury to what the known hijacker was to.
Oh my gosh! And I wonder what David, any kids?
That's a good. That's quite likely. But here's what I think happened. The only clue that ever surfaced was a few years later, in 1980, a boy digging along the Columbia River bank. What separates Washington and Oregon?
The Columbia
River. I think it was a stream of bad luck. I think he landed in the river because this boy was digging and he found $5,000 of the ransom money in this bill serial numbers matching what got stolen by Cooper.
So I wonder if the rest of it maybe was flown out to sea.
That's what
not flown, but drifted off.
I think he landed and drowned. And his cash floated up on. Otherwise, why would it be on the banks of the Columbia?
Is there more cash out to be found on the banks of the Columbia?
We have an unlimited travel budget. Dave, can we do the show from the banks of the Columbia River and start digging?
Every day, let's make it happen.
Okay, it's going to be a true crime podcast from now on, based on one story. No, another day we didn't find anything. Celeste, can you believe we have to say goodbye already? This show goes.
Thank you for having me, everybody.
Come on, Dave, get us on till 1, could you? Dave's like, I gotta have a lunch break.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great Monday. See you tomorrow.